marketing skills, the speaking skills, all these things is what they're trying to lead with, and they're not going to get that if they don't have their hands on it doing it. Okay, but of course you're there to keep them safe, make sure they're not going to do something they shouldn't do, and to provide good sound instruction from a safety standpoint and from an engineering standpoint, so that they can learn these concepts. Because that's what best robotics, embodies, is boosting engineering, science, and technology, and that's what we want to try to do for our students, boost that knowledge for them. So, anyhow, I'm not going to bore you to tears with reading all of this. I just wanted to show you this is what we have. Your robot design constraints, of course, as always, it has to fit inside of a 24 by 24 by 24 inch cube area. Okay? So when you go through your engineering process, you'll want to cut it down a little bit to make sure it'll fit in there comfortably. And then also, when it's out on the playing field, there's a starting box for that robot. You got to make sure that robot will fit in that same type area. Okay? And so, of course, 24 pounds is the maximum weight that your robot can weigh. So you want to make sure you try to stay within those constraints. Now this, as always, and this year, your exhibit booth size is to be 8 feet by 8 feet by 8 feet. Okay? And that's going on the outside of your exhibit booth, not the inside of it. Okay? So you're going to be provided an 8 by 8 by 8 area for you to set your exhibit booth up. So make sure it's that. And that's the same rules they're going to use at South Best and Auburn. They said, they sent out a memo the other day and said, hey, if your students are putting together theirs in a 10-foot span, they're going to be required to cut it down when they get to Auburn, because they're limited in the amount of room they have to set up their exhibit booths for all the schools that participate. Any questions? All right. Just a few rules. I know a lot of the veteran teams, they already have an understanding of all this. Some of the newer teams may not have as much of an understanding. What else we got here? If I could get a little bit bigger. We talked about the returnable kits. You just want to make sure you read through all the rules and specifications, policies here, okay? Make sure that you conform to what they have here. There's things about your returnable kit that says the returnable kit equipment cannot be modified in any way. All right? It says that such as cutting, holes, punch. However, the belt that is provided as a loop may not be modified. It says servo homes may be modified as desired. Okay. It also says returnable kits specify certain items that may not be attached to the machine. So those are things that you need to be aware of. Make sure that you. It says the pulleys, bearings, shoulder screws include the return kit may not be modified. You may not use any glue or adhesive tape on these items. Okay, so just want to make sure that you go through the rules. Make sure that you abide by what they're asking here. Okay, consumables kit the same way. Make sure you follow all the guidelines that are set forth in the game-specific rules. Team custom parts, of course. There's ones that you're allowed to use. It says each part must be able to fit in an unconstrained 2 inch by 4 inch by 4 inch cuboid. Okay? So just various things that you need to pay attention to here. Melting is allowed, so like if you got PVC pipe you want to form or melt, you can use a heat gun, form it the shape you need it, let it cool off. Chemical change is allowed as well. If you apply some type of chemical to it to make it melt or whatever, or change it that way, you can do that. Your weight constrictions, of course, may not exceed 24 pounds. Energy sources, you have to use a single onboard battery pack. Of course, you're provided with those. Your compliance. There's just general types of rules here. So, our field colors, of course, they will be organized bright red, and next to it will be green, bright blue, and then yellow. Your drivers and spotters, of course, during a match, one student member, each team's allowed in the team driver area, and one student member is allowed in the team spotter area. Okay, so of course, depending on how many students that make up the team, you have to have a minimum number of student drivers on the list, and they have to alternate between rounds. If there's only 2 drivers, they got to alternate. They can't go back-to-back rounds within the competition. They have to change up within each round. And then, so if you've got, there's the listing there, student team members present at competition, so that you can sign up that number of drivers based on that number of teams and members that you have there. Okay. Penalties, of course, a 20-second penalty suspension may be assessed for a variety of infractions, and it says the penalty requires the driver to surrender their VEX joystick to the referee for a period of 20 seconds. Of course, the referee will return the joysticks to the driver upon expiration of the penalty, and then the machine may continue the match, and penalty decisions are on the referees will be final. Okay. If a driver touches their own machine before any part has left the starting area, a 20-second penalty will be incurred. Okay. So usually what's going to happen is you're going to come out, we're going to have our drivers and spotters enter onto the playing field. You're going to stand there with your robot, the spotter is, until the whistle's blown. Once the whistle's blown, you have 30 seconds to set your robot down in the starting box, get it ready, make sure things are going to operate, and then once the 30-second period whistle blows, you're not allowed to touch that robot any longer. Okay? And you have to be in your respective boxes, spotter in the spotter box, driver in the driver box. Okay? And then once the countdown goes, it usually goes 3, 2, 1, start, and then they'll have a horn go off or a whistle blow, and you'll start the round. And so anytime during the actual competition round, you're not allowed to touch that robot, And so just various rules like that you have to have an understanding of. Moving on, match protocol. Get on down here. We got our competition protocol, seeding rounds, wild cards, semifinals. Not going to read all that. Items, let's see here. There's game specific rules here. Let me see if I can find the other document. Second here, I'm going to find this correct document. So we'll move on to this part here. Scoring sheets. I provided you with the scoring sheets for all the different contest areas. That way you'll know how you're going to be rated. The rubric that's used, or the scoring sheet that's used to identify, and it gives you the points that you'll be awarded, so forth, for, of course, your software design score sheet, spirit, sportsmanship, marketing, presentation, founders award, exhibit, an interview, engineering notebook. All of these scoring sheets will be provided so that you'll know what criteria they're looking for. The main thing with these is that you want to make sure that your notebook is the right size, that your exhibit book is the right size, and that you follow those rules for, you'll be organized with all of these parts of the different parts of the competition here. Where is that document? I'll show you. This is our password, so you can access what you need to from Best Ink. Flame out. Okay? So if you want to take a picture of that, you'll have your password. Actually, this document's in your Kickff, so that you'll have it as well. The flame out, that's a 3 and a 0. It's used for the E and the O. Numerical digits 3 and 0. Is everybody good? This year's game day location, we're going to have it housed. Our gymnasium here on campus is being having work done, renovated, and so we're going to have our game day at Priceville Junior High School, and so we'll be set up in the gym there, and there's plenty of parking for people to be able to park and so forth. But you'll actually come in. There's a side door to the gym. That's where most people will be coming in and out of that area. So, and then down some of the school's hallways is where we'll have our exhibit booth set up. And so I'll have it take off like I normally do, take off and labeled for each school number. So you'll set up wherever I have you assigned in that hallway, okay?
Mark,
yes.
Have you considered logistics for when we set up then? Because school will be in session on that Friday.
Right.
And we've in the past been able to set up earlier because of football games later at night.
Right.
So what is have you worked that out yet?
We haven't worked that out. Because they'll be in session, they'll have school that day. So, well, it'll have to be something has to be done after school, I suppose. I haven't talked to Miss Spiegel, she's the principal there, and so once I find out a little more detail, I'll make sure I give that information out to all the sponsors, okay? And let you know how we're going to facilitate that. The gym will be open that night and so forth. I know students are participating. They're in band and there are other parts of the high school they're involved with. And of course, everybody likes to go to the Friday night football games as well. So, like I said, as soon as I find out something a little more definite of how quick each school can come in and set up their exhibit booth, I'll let you know, okay? Yes. The marketing presentations we'll have in the same location as we had last year. It'll be in my building, the Center for Applied Technology. It'll be that Friday, and we'll usually start around noon, or before if we have to. So we'll kind of get a feel for, because I know people have to get permission slips filled out, field trip pass, bus, transportation, all that kind of stuff worked out. So I'll be getting with you next week or two, and we'll work that out. Make sure we got the right time for everybody to be able to go do their marketing presentation. Any other questions? Yeah, it's a little bit different this year since we don't have the gymnasium. That's really kind of put a crunch with things with me trying to get things organized and together. Of course, like I said, our exhibit booth dimensions 8 feet by 8 feet by 8 feet. Make sure you follow those. Let me scrub through here and see what that does. Probably just going to go for it. Oh, here we go. All right. So our game-specific rules. This is what we need to look at here. Okay? So here, over the years, Best Inc. has ventured into a wide variety of industries, from underground mining to space exploration, and everything in between. It says throughout this diverse pursuits, Best has kept safety the #1 priority. So in line with this, Best has announced organization-wide fire safety initiative for Crossfire. It says mostly the initiative involves fire prevention through new and improved safety policies, but Best has also started a research and development program to explore robot intervention in industrial fire emergencies. So this is the basis of our game. So your company is invited, your company is invited to submit a robot prototype to be evaluated along other prototypes in a state-of-the-art industrial fire simulator. Let me make it a little bit bigger, you might be able to read it there. So besides their performance in the simulations, companies will be evaluated based on the quality of their project documentation, sales presentation, company exhibit, even their company culture and business ethics. Robots will not be allowed to touch the fire directly. In order to extinguish it, they need to launch simulated water from a distance. And so the highest priority is rescuing the test mannequin from inside. Just like a real rescue, every second counts. Robots will receive more points if they complete the rescue in less time. And so good luck to each of the businesses, each of the teams here. So objectives, of course, design and build a prototype robot to rescue a fire test mannequin. Contain the dangerous chemicals and extinguish the flames during a 3-minute match. A robot can score points by doing the following. Of course, rescuing the mannequin. The mannequin's name is Manny. Manny the mannequin. And so then we have these drums that will be on the playing field, chemical drums. You want to try to contain those in a safe area, and I'll show you about that. And then, of course, extinguish the flames. So the playing field is set up. I know you can't probably see that well. In the center, we have a building. And, of course, it's divided into quadrants. Each quadrant, you have a green, a yellow, a blue, a red field, and there will be cups set up on shelves, Dixie cups. The Dixie cups are set up, those are the flames representing the flames that's consuming the building in that location. And so your robot's got to be able to take a practice golf ball and launch it and knock the cups off to extinguish the flames. Okay? So that's a little bit different challenge than what we've seen in the past, because typically we don't throw things with our robot. You know, most of the time we've got a gripper on the end, some type of end effector that's manipulating something that we're grasping and moving to a different location. You know, placing items, things like that. More of a pick and place type. But this year, they're actually going to be launching these practice golf balls at these cups to knock them over. And if you knock the cups over, of course, you extinguish the fire. Okay? And so, in the field, see if I can bring it up a little bit closer here, maybe. In the field description here, you've got, the field's comprised, of course, 3 zones. You have what we call the no entry zone, the hot zone, and the cold zone. So the cold zone, you can see, is located in about a 6-foot area that the robot's able to run around in. Of course, you never want to block the starting box of another robot or anything like that, because they're going to use that starting box to facilitate their rescue of Manny, the mannequin. He's going to be placed in that starting box, and then the spotter that's on the other side, the spotter's going to be here. He's going to be able to grasp this, right here. He's going to be able to grasp Manny and put him in a stretcher. And he's got to be placed in the stretcher correctly or he won't score. Here, there will be a blue bucket. The blue bucket will contain all the practice golf balls. And so the spotter will actually be interacting with the robot in that he'll be taking the golf balls and placing them in the robot to facilitate the robot to go back and put the fire out. Okay? But the robot in no wise can enter or touch this no entry zone. There's a penalty if he tries to touch any of the cups or any of the part of that playing field. Okay? Now the mannequins will be laying positioned here so they can go into the area. There's a gate where they can go in to actually get Manny and drag him out, you know, and take him back to the starting box. And also there's cans. The chemical cans will be in here, and the chemical cans, they'll be taken and placed in a box. A containment area right here will be a box that they'll place the chemical cans in. Okay? And I'll show you just a little bit more about that here in just a second. So there's these zones that you can be in and you can't be in. cups, of course, the no entry zone is a 6 foot by 6 foot by 5 foot structure in the middle of the field, and it's the origin point of the fire. A combination of the extreme temperatures and partially collapsed structure prevents robots from accessing this zone. So robots will not be allowed to enter or even reach into the no entry zone. The no entry zone is divided into 4 sections. Shields made from window screen. The shields are designed to prevent game pieces from exiting the field. The fire has collapsed the structure and the flaming debris is all over the place. Mostly it is concentrated in 3 areas called shelves, top, middle, and bottom. The shelves are L-shaped, 3.5 inches deep, and the top shelf is 18 inches long side, middle shelf is 30, and of course the bottom shelf is 18. Flames are located on the shelves in stacks of 3, and the flames are touching the shelves directly, are centered on tape lines, and to make the placement consistent. So when they reset the playing field, it'll be consistent each time. And so on the top, as you can see, barely see, on the top shelf, there will be a yellow stack of 3 on the left and a red stack of 3 on the right. Okay? So that'll be in the green area. That way